All right, we're getting some big news coming in. UK PM Boris Johnson is set to quit. Big news coming in. This is what we were in fact expecting as well after a series of issues that his government was dealing with. More than 40 resignations have happened and the government was in real danger of imploding as his authority is ebbing away. And now what we have learned is that UK PM Boris Johnson is set to quit at any point now. Now, Boris Johnson will also be, in fact, standing down as Tory leader. That is also what we are learning so far. And we were expecting that he would also, in fact, continue as the PM until the new leaders elected. The Downing Street has said that. But what we are learning is that Boris Johnson could quit at any time now. Abhishek Kapoor is joining us for more. Abhishek, take us through the details.
Well, Shivangi, so we know what has happened over the last few days in the British government, in Boris Johnson's government. Almost 50 ministers have quit his government, and reports suggest that now Boris Johnson finally is under pressure and preparing to resign. So, for example, I can see a tweet by Piers Morgan, who's a famous British journalist, and he's saying that his sources tell him, it comes from good authority, that Boris Johnson is preparing to resign as Prime Minister. He has been under pressure for a couple of appointments he made, which even people within his cabinet thought were against propriety. He has been under pressure after his role in the party during the COVID lockdown, where he was found to be in breach of quarantine and COVID protocols himself as Prime Minister, and that was not appreciated by a great mass of citizens. And also his colleagues in the cabinet. In fact, he sought to brazen it out, and that added further to some discomfort. We have seen how the topmost ministers, led by number 2 effectively in the UK cabinet, Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rishi Sunak, who's of Indian origin, and Sajid Javid, the health minister, who's of Pakistani origin, both quit within 10 minutes of each other. That was day before yesterday. And since then, it has been a spate of resignations, touching 50 at last count, and that was earlier in the day. And so it's breaking news now on British networks. For example, Paul Brand, who's the UK editor of ITV News, he's saying just about 4 minutes back that Boris Johnson is all set to quit. And this is just a day after Boris Johnson took Prime Minister's question in the Parliament, and even then he sought to really stand his ground and put up a brave face. And despite all the resignations flying thick and fast, we saw how yesterday Boris Johnson sought to present a picture of control, and yet I think things have really slipped out of his hands, and now it clearly seems likely that Boris Johnson's days as Prime Minister are numbered, and that he might have to leave number 10. Of course, this is apart from the pressure that was building up on him from the opposition. We have seen how even his close confidants, close cabinet colleagues have found his conduct to be a little discomforting for them, leading to those resignations. And I think that's why these reports now that Boris Johnson is effectively all set to quit as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
Right. So, Abhishek, like you were telling us, there were many calls made by the cabinet for him to step down in the wake of the ethics scandals. Take us through why exactly was his popularity on the downhill, Abhishek?
Well, Shivangi, first a statement is being prepared that would be announced from 10 Downing Street by, I believe, Boris Johnson himself, that he's quitting. This comes a day after he put a picture of defiance before the Parliament yesterday during the Prime Minister's questions. And this is essentially about, as I mentioned, a couple of scandals that hit his government. The latest one being, of course, one appointment of John Preston, if I'm getting it right, and that was because there were some charges of sexual misconduct against him, and despite that, Mr. Johnson went ahead and made that appointment in his government. Apart from that, his own involvement in the party at his residence, where those attending were seen to be in breach of COVID protocols at that time. This was about a year and a half back when London was in a lockdown. So the lockdown rules were flouted, and people generally don't appreciate that coming in from the top. Remember when Rishi Sunak resigned day before yesterday, Johnson was very quick to appoint Nadine Zahawi as the next chancellor. And so it was that he was trying to present a picture of control. But it seems that there is going to be contest for conservative leadership. And there is a party conference, in fact, coming up in October, Shivangi. And it seems that Boris realized that things are not really getting in his direction. And that's why he decided to quit ahead of that party conference where, his leadership could have come under challenge. In fact, Nadine Zahawi, the man who was appointed as Chancellor of the Exchequer by Boris Johnson just yesterday, in fact, has tweeted, Shivangi, and that's really important because he says, Prime Minister, this is not sustainable and it will only get worse for you, for the Conservative Party, and most importantly of all, for the country. You must do the right thing and go now. This is just imagine that the replacement of Rishi Sunak, whom Boris Johnson appointed and who accepted the appointment just 36 hours back, is now saying that Prime Minister, you should resign, and in fact he himself has put in his papers. So I think that really shows the kind of isolation that Boris Johnson has been facing, because of which I think the situation has emerged that he is resigning, Shivangi.
Right. Also, Abhishek, before you go, this is a big story you're tracking right now. It's one of the biggest international stories today. Now, what we have learned is also that Boris Johnson could not also rely on some of his trusted allies because a lot of his allies wanted him to step down, and they have also said that he should step down and that he does not hold the power or the respect that he once did. So that definitely, Abhishek, would you agree, is coming as a blow to Boris Johnson?
Rohit, repeat it.
All right, we'll get back to Abhishek, who is getting us the details of this big story that after resignations, Boris Johnson is also now set to quit. His government has been imploding for a while now. More than 40 resignations in the past few days. His authority right now in big danger. Many of his allies asking him to step down. And this, in fact, is quite unprecedented in recent British political history. I believe that Abhishek Kapoor is back with us. Abhishek, would you agree that this is unprecedented at this point of time? Okay, I'm told that Abhishek will join us back after some time, but viewers, this is unprecedented in British political history for sure. Johnson's government was also in real danger of imploding, and right now we believe that that's exactly what has happened. He has had a meeting with his inner circle. He has also, in fact, gone on the attack. He's firing Michael Gove, one of this cabinet's remaining big hitters, in what one official has been describing as revenge for his attempt to remove the Premier and an act of betrayal. So we are seeing the politics in Britain there play out and not exactly in the favor of Boris Johnson. He will also be resigning as the Conservative leader today. He has also been clinging on to the job as the first leadership bid is mounting there. So what we are hearing is that he will resign as a Conservative leader today. But for now, he will continue as PM until a new one comes in place. Much more is coming up on the other side, viewers. This continues to be a top story.